I wanted to quickly give this lesson on the slingshot effect. This is something I promised you guys a little while ago. If you reply to this email, I'll send you a training on the slingshot effect. And that's what this training is all about. So the slingshot effect is something I made up probably 8 years ago, something like that. And it was when I first realized I had my first little growth spark. So a growth spark is when you first learn that you have the ability to learn and you first start investing into knowledge and trying to really refine your wisdom because you realize that that's the whole game. If you want more money, you want better health, and you want more higher quality relationships, you need to kind of experience life in a way that is observant. You need to be learning as you go. You can't just keep going through day after day after day, and you're not really progressing if you do that. So your growth spurt is when you first learn that you have the ability to learn. And the slingshot effect is the same thing as a growth spurt, but it's on steroids. So if you think your life is just going along fine, casually, whatever. And then imagine that is a slingshot, right? And then you're pulled back. And what I mean by pulled back is that you've gone way below your thermostat, where you set your thermostat. So I want you to think of a thermostat in a room, So in here, I've got the AC on. It works better of a heater, so we'll pretend it's a heater. Let's say the temperature goes below whatever you've set it at, so it gets cold. As soon as it gets cold, the heater kicks on and brings the temperature back up to where you want it to be, where you see the ideal temperature. Well, the same thing exists in your mindset when it comes to money, when it comes to health, and when it comes to relationships. So let's say you have $20,000 in your bank and suddenly there's an unexpected expense and you're down to like 5,000. Well, your little thermostat in your brain is gonna kick into gear and go, holy shit, I'm fucking way below where I should be. And you're going to quickly spend less money and make more money. You're going to get back to where you believe you should be. And it's completely subconscious, and most people don't know the number, right? If you do mindset training, you know the number. You know what number you expect to be at. And you slowly increase that in a way that is not unbelievable to your subconscious so that you can actually achieve it. Same goes with health. If you suddenly get to a level of fat and you look in the mirror and you're like, holy shit, I'm fat, you know, I'm really fat, whatever it is for you, it's like below where you expect to be. And then you get up. For some people, it's like, holy shit, I've only got a 4 pack. I usually have a 6 pack. So they go work out. And same with relationships. Let's say I mean, a really good example is when somebody has a divorce. I had a mate here in Bali who reached out to me and we were hanging out. He was divorced after 20 years. So what's the first thing he was doing? He was straight on Tinder, man. He was looking for women suddenly his thermostat kicked in. He's single. He wants more women around him, blah, blah, blah. He was straight into that. And so it works with money, it works with health, and it works with relationships. So the slingshot effect is when you've done it long term due to addiction. So usually when you have an addiction, your priority is the addiction. If someone's addicted to crack, all they think about is crack. If someone's addicted to, I mean, this happens with benzos, it happens with uh, alcohol for sure, it happens with weed even, it happens with gambling, it happens with any addiction. You're either doing the addiction. So with weed addiction, I remember, I mean, it's funny to say weed addiction, but it's what it was at the time. I didn't think about it. But yeah, you're either smoking weed high or straight, but you're chasing weed, right? You're looking to get more because you don't have any. It's the only reason you're not high. And that's how it was for me. I was in those three states. And eventually it led to a place where I was like, I had been selling weed for so long. You all know my story. I quit selling weed and I had all this money, and then I blew all the money and I had nothing. I had literally nothing. And that was my slingshot moment when I was down so low. I had nothing. I had no skills. I had no career. I had no prospects. I had no business. And then I would start to try to get into the workforce, and everyone was talking about $20 an hour, $25 an hour. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I make thousands of dollars in an hour. So I couldn't get back into the workforce because my brain wouldn't allow it. But I had this massive reality check where I'm like, wait a minute, all my friends are fucked. They're killing themselves, they're dying, they're hurting each other. No one's getting anywhere. Everyone's addicted. Everyone's sitting on the couch doing nothing. There's no progress. No one has any money. What the hell am I doing? And suddenly the thermostat really kicked on because when you first get sober after an addiction for so long, you have to decide who you are, and that's a really positive thing. The slingshot effect is turning addiction on its ass and becoming who you want to be, right? Having the power to become who you want to be. And this is why I think ex-addicts can be so damn successful, because to quit an addiction, you must develop one skill. And that skill is to feel fear and do it anyway, or feel discomfort and do it anyway. Feel a craving and not give into it. Feel an urge, feel desire to do something that is just a repetitive behavior you've been doing for 10 years or whatever, and not do it. So you start to teach your body that your brain is the boss. You start to, so it's the same. Someone wants to go to the gym, but they're tired. Well, your brain can just say, doesn't matter if you're tired. You're not the boss. I'm the boss. I said we're going to the gym. That's what we're doing. And your body will comply. And then the next day, your body will be less of a bitch. You know, it's teaching your body that your brain is in charge. It's where you can go, okay, I need to quit the addiction. In order to quit something old, I must build something new. We know this. This is 101. Right? We know this. So, what do you want to build? The cool thing about quitting an addiction is you can't go back to who you were before the addiction, because that was a younger version of you. You can't, when I was quitting, I was in my late 20s. If I went back to who I was before the addiction, I was a teenager. I couldn't go back to being a teenager in my late 20s. So I had to decide who the fuck I was. And I was like, what motivates me? What do I want to do? And you do the Venn diagram of, my ikigai.
生きがい、生きがい、Ikigai.
So what do you enjoy? What are you good at? What is the marketplace willing to pay for? And then that's what you do. And for me back then, I was like, I'm going to help people quit weed because that's what I needed. I want to provide what I needed. And that's what I did. And that really worked well. But you need to do the same thing. There's so many ways to just kind of reach out to the world and do something that has nothing to do with your addiction, but fulfills you in a way that your addiction never could, because your addiction's based on pleasure. And if you do something based on purpose, you're going to be a lot happier. It's just a fact. So that's what the slingshot effect is. It's turning this problem of an addiction into an opportunity of real power.